Welcome to the Saturday live chat that we do every week. I wasn't here last week, but I was here the week before, and grateful that these calls continue to go on even when some of us are not available. And we're grateful for, everyone continually to go into the chats, into the topic folders, and supporting one another. I still monitor the chats pretty closely every single day. I go into the chat a couple times a day, so I'm looking and seeing what people are saying and doing. So, grateful to have you guys as a community, and grateful that you guys are here on Saturday to kind of just share and share space with us. We don't take that lightly as a leadership team, just so you know. And we really appreciate you guys for coming back and just learning to, be free for not just for yourself, but for the people that's around you. And that's what we're all here to do, to support one another as we do that. Couple little housekeeping rules. Still pushing down that there's no gatekeeping. We're not trying to no, but there should be no paid service. If anybody tells you to DM them so they can offer you a service, crypto, whatever the goofy stuff is, or that they may be trying to offer, Recoupers does not allow any selling or sharing or paying for information. So if anybody is doing that to you, please just tag me or tag one of the leaders that you see in a post. If you see a post, or if they're sending you a message and you know they are part of Recoupers, please let me know and send me the screenshots, because I will not just remove somebody simply because you tell me. I need to see the proof that there is something, that they're doing to violate community rules. And if they are not a part of Recoupers and you're just getting a bunch of DMs and people calling you about whatever reason, change your settings in your Telegram. So only people that are on your contacts can contact you. That's very easy to do under privacy and security when you go into Telegram settings. Because if they're not in Recoupers, there's nothing I can do about it. And so please check that before you reach out to me, because I've gone back to quite a few people who say, hey, they're not in Recoupers. I don't know why they're DMing you or why they're calling you. Got to change your chat settings. So that takes time to do, and just to save me time and you as well, do your due diligence before you reach out. Canal is one person that's in Recoupers that tags me a lot in people that are violating, and I really do appreciate that person, because when someone's spamming or doing things that they're not supposed to do, Canal always tags me. So, and I appreciate that. So I just wanted to openly say that. I don't know if they're on the call or not, but thank you, Canal, for always tagging me when something is going on that's a violation of community rules. Another reminder about Study Buddy Group. We still have Study Buddy groups. We don't have one for Mississippi. We don't have one for quite a few states. So if you're in a state and we currently do not have a leadership group or a study group, a separate Telegram group or Facebook group, feel free to start that Study Buddy group for your state. They don't have to live close to you, as long as they live in the state that you're in, like Mississippi. If you live in one county and they live in another, doesn't matter. At least you guys can get on Zoom calls outside of the Recoupers, something smaller, more intimate, where you guys can study information, give each other feedback, support, things of that nature. Because sometimes being in a larger group, it's hard to feel supported, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So this is why we have the Study Buddy groups. There are certain groups that are affiliated with Recoupers, as long as they stay within the guidelines of our community guidelines and not violating any rules. And if you have to have one of the admins in your group, just so you know, if you have a Study Buddy group, one of the leadership team admins have to be in your group. So I should be one of them. K Marie, Tom, Taki, anybody else, Neela, Jeremy. One of us need to be an admin in your group, just so we can monitor it. And if there's any stuff that's going on that's in violation of Recoupers, then we will ask you to fix it. And if you don't, then we will remove you from being affiliated with us, and you can go do your group separately from Recoupers. But we operate in honor and integrity in everything that we do as a leadership team, and we expect that from our affiliated groups as well. So we haven't had too many challenges so far. The groups are amazing. We have Ohio, New York, Texas, Illinois, California. There's quite a few that we have already in place, and Washington State. I think there's a Washington, D.C. as well, Virginia. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. Florida. I can't think anymore, but there's more. So
Pennsylvania just added us as admins in there. Yep.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Awesome. So that's that's amazing that we have these support groups. And like I said, as long as they keep up with the community guidelines and they don't violate any rules, we're more than happy to be affiliated with you guys and help support as much as we can. So that's my soapbox, my TED Talk for this Saturday morning. And thank you for everyone that is here. I'm going to go on to the next step. Jeremy, you're up, and let us know if there's anything you'd like to share with the group today.
Thank you for your TED Talk.
No problem. Jeremy, can you unmute?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Okay. In the meantime, Cameron, do you want to just go ahead and do the prayer, and then he can come in after that? It's also in the chat.
Yeah, my mouth is full of pistachios. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name and our names. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever, all and equal. And so it is.
And so it is. I say, amen. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jeremy, whenever you're ready, let us know. We can always come back to you at any time during this agenda for today. It doesn't have to be right now. Do we have anybody who wants to raise their hand? Jeremy, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, go ahead. Mic is yours.
Yeah, I'm just grateful to see everybody here as usual. Stay focused. There's like the last time I was on here, we talked about how we had a lot of irons in the fire. Just stay focused. Don't let it get you down. Don't get frustrated. Spaces like this allow me to focus on the positive side of things. There's we deal in duality, so we deal with that dark as well, and we can't forget about it because it's imperative in our lives. So just maintain your focus. These testimonials, they'll motivate you. The insights that people bring to us, that's going to keep our toes in the fire, keep us going. But again, just grateful to have y'all here. Grateful to have everybody on the team. Grateful to have all these wonderful people picking this information up and running with it. They're finding out that they're teachers because they're definitely teaching us by picking up this information. But just grateful and thank y'all for being here.
Thank you, Jeremy, for those words of encouragement. We appreciate you as well for being the founder of RECOUPERS and giving us a platform to even come together as a community. So we appreciate you so much for your vision and for your kindness and your heart to open this up to all of us and let us all be leaders and not just, some people. I've been in other groups where groups leaders and founders have so much ego, and you have none of that. And I can attest to that personally. So I just wanted to openly say thank you to you, Jeremy, because you're an amazing man and we appreciate you.
Oh, I couldn't do this without y'all. Y'all pretty much built RECOUPERS to this point. So I'm just here trying to catch up with y'all because y'all keep me on my toes. So I appreciate y'all. Love you.
Well, we're here for each other. All right, Days, anybody got their hand raised that wants to come to the mic and give your gratitude? And then if you have a question, you can as well. But start with your gratitude, please.
Yep. We will, just want to encourage people to bring value to the session today, right? Give your report, testimonials, insights, gratitudes, things along the lines of that. We're going to go to Sentient Princess first. I want to see people raising their hands and getting on deck, please. Welcome, Sentient Princess, who we spoke to last week. Go right ahead.
Sorry, trying to get this. Grand risings to everyone. Just excited today and grateful again, as always, to know the Most High and to be alive and in the land of the living. So that's my first gratitude. Thankful to be on this call, actually, because I did an all-nighter, got some stuff out in the mail. And I got my, what are they, the 1040 ESs and the Vs for 23 and 24 out last week. And I went out on a kind of a heavenly limb, and I was having a wage garnishment with the franchise tax board, and I had heard one of the lives that said it's pretty much the same procedure, except you are um, addressing it to the FTB instead of the Treasury. And so I put that in the mail this morning, and I'm just going to believe that it was done correctly, and it will be effective, and I will get that settled. So very excited about that. Even though I'm working on fumes this morning, I'm still excited to be here. So excited to be here, and just a shout out to everyone who um, just kind of followed me. I'm trying to work that up so that I'll be able to during the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday sessions be able to speak as well. But I'm just blessed. Well, I don't like to use that word actually. I'm sorry. Just very fortunate to be here, and just again grateful for everyone who has anything to do with it, including all 65 of the participants that are currently on the line. Because believe it or not, we've taken the first step, or the second step, or the third step, as it were, and we're here, and we're still kind of focused on what we're trying to do. Um, I did have a question that I would like to ask, if that is possible. I think I did hear Dr. Heather say that
Yeah,
was
yeah, go ahead, honey. You're good.
okay. Thank you. Yeah. Now this is Sunday morning quarterbacking kind of, but um, I was just wondering with regard to the using the 1040 ES and the 1040 Vs for something like the franchise tax board. Um, is it in fact the same? You're using all of the coupons. My mind kind of took me to maybe using one during the time of during the, how they each coupon has a date on it. And so I just wanted to just kind of maybe confirm, or if that is it the exact
Yep, I'll take it.
same.
Yep,
Thank,
I'll take
thank
it
you.
for you, sentient. You bet. So quick question. Did you go into the FTB portal by chance to look for the ES and V payments for the state franchise tax board?
Oh no, I did not.
Okay. My first recommendation for you, it's fine that you sent that in already. It's fine. Okay. It's a receipt that you have. Keep it in your records. Definitely your intention is fully there and you're bona fide in doing so. Okay. On the federal returns, federal ESs and Bs. However,
Oh wow.
it's possible they could send you a letter back recognizing that credit issuance. But it's not going to hurt for you to go in, create a profile in the franchise tax board. That's California, right?
I actually have one of those already because I was doing some of this, some legwork before I came across. So I
Yeah.
actually do have. I'm
So
looking at it right now. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So one thing you can do if you can't locate it inside the portal, you can always Google. Okay. Here's how I was able to find the voucher portion for franchise tax board. Okay. You go into Google and you say California ES payment voucher. And I can't remember the number of the form, but it will pop up for you. It's like a 3895 or something. It's a voucher that's specific to the franchise tax board, and they will receive that. It's an OMB form, right? It's for the state liability center of settling your outstanding tax liabilities for your blue card person through the state portal. So if you look up in Google, let's say a California franchise tax ES forms, that'll pop up. Then you have to search for the California Franchise Tax Board payment voucher. Okay. And that'll allow you to print those out. So you have two ways to search and find those. One is inside the portal, go to the forms and punch into the search button, query franchise tax board, let them know what form you're looking for. But you have to state ES payment, that's a separate form number, and then California Franchise Tax Board payment voucher. Okay. The ES, remember, is a money order. The V is the voucher, essentially, that gives them a hold harmless agreement. My hands are clean. I'm coming as the bona fide owner of the interest that I'm conveying over to the blue card person to get her out of, to get her back in compliance and get her bills paid, right? Whatever tax bills are due and owing. So that should help you. It's not going to hurt you to send the next set. Just make sure you do it with a certified, let's see, you could do, remember y'all, so you said you have a profile already with Franchise Tax Board. So you're already profiled as someone who's in a contract with Franchise Tax Board. So technically speaking, you could send your ES and V payments for the state. You could overnight it. You could 2-day express mail it. Okay. You don't need to send certified, because sometimes, you guys, when we do certified, it's only when you're engaging in a contract with a particular agency that you need that green card back to show proof that you're in a contract with them. Okay. Because Sentient might be looking for a expedited payment deposit to not delay her tax return, she could do 2-day express mail to FTB. And make sure you put on the outside of that envelope, important tax document enclosed, which is in all the instructions. It lets the fiscal agents know that there's actually a payment in there, and it goes on a priority pile. Not when we send everything certified all the time, we're basically letting them know that this is being adjudicated, this is being adjudicated, this is being adjudicated. Okay. Well, that's fine if you're in a bankruptcy, or you're probating the estate, or you're liquidating your interest, or you're pulling credits forward, blah, 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 blah. But once you get that initial green card, you already know you're in a contract with that entity. And like Sentient just said, I was taking care of other things, so I do have a profile there. So she's verifiably in a contract with FTB right now. No need to do the green card. It causes delays. Okay.
Well, I've learned my lesson.
So yes, exactly. Okay. So it's not going to hurt you to double down, since you sent in federal OMB, ES, and V, but you made it payable to Franchise Tax Board, which is fine. It's just they may not be, they may make record of it, but they may not be able to ACH it. You feel me?
I see.
Because we know that the federal has to talk to the state. We do know that part. You've got a record of an event. Technically, you've overpaid it. Okay. But you've let the federal know who you paid that $600 or more to. You're saying, listen, I sent this amount to Franchise Tax Board. That was my intention. So you can, at any time at your leisure, listen, the 1099 miscellaneous online fillable form, irs.gov, 1099 miscellaneous. Those are designed to give you a written receipt in your follow-up folder that you did issue on a federal fund form. You did issue a certain sum, and you can put that certain sum in an online fillable 1099 miscellaneous, telling the federal, this blue card person made a payment to this state agency known as Franchise Tax Board, address, blah, 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 blah. TIN not provided, no prob. But it's your written receipt. You're just doing your part. You're just simply reporting where your cookies have been going, which I call credits or mana.
Right.
All right. So you'll do the same thing after you've deposited your express mail using the state forms now. Feel free to go over as soon as you've got that tracking number, Sentient. Okay. The minute you've got the tracking number that you deposited those credits into the state agency's mailbox, okay, their accountable mailbox, you get to call it, you get to check collectible. It's a collectible event. It's a collection. You're collecting credits. You get to put the entire amount in the other income because it's exempt from taxes, because it's a credit issued on behalf of the blue card person. So you can now do a miscellaneous showing a separate payment bona fide with clean hands in all of its exhausting or administrative remedy, trying to get the blue card person back in compliance, or whoever it might be for you and your husband or whatever. Does that make sense how we do that? We
Yeah,
make sure we report that miscellaneous, who it went to and how many cookies went there.
Okay, can I just clarify some things first of all? Because it may make a difference, I'm not sure. The ironic thing or the funny thing about this is I did those steps. I located that. It starts with a 5. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And I have them in my file folder. And I think what I heard in my head was that it's the same process. And so I use the federal forms. I have them. It's just crazy to me right now. But
great,
anyways, the other thing was
great.
this, and the other thing was
Feel,
though, Kimberly.
listen, feel free, sis. Go ahead, feel free to just make a copy of the front and back of the federals that you did so they
Uh,
know you've already reported this shit to the federal side, okay?
yeah, I got
So
the
feel free
copies.
to do that.
But
You bet.
let me just the point I was trying to make quickly is that first of all, this was court ordered debt for traffic tickets, not it wasn't any kind of taxes that were due.
That's okay. That's the comptroller. They're still responsible to settle that account.
Okay, and then the second thing was there were two, one from
Yep.
2021 and one from
Yep.
2023. My mind and the way that my mind was working was that I would need to do one for each because of the years, the separate years. Now
Sure.
is that correct? Really? Okay.
It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
hurt. It doesn't hurt to do two separate, but you can also collect them up into the current year, 2024,
Oh, Jesus.
tally them
Okay.
up together, tally the years up together, scoot all those credits up to 2024's payment. Now you're getting a bigger return in 2024 because you've taken care of all of it. So it's you. In other words, not
So
right or wrong. We have access to doing both and more.
right. So when I redo it with the state forms, you're saying to use the 2024, even though it happened, one was in 2021 and one was in 2023, and just
Well,
combine
okay.
the
All right.
total?
So let's back up for a second. Okay. So traffic tickets fall under California Registration and Collection Services Department. Okay. So
Oh,
since you didn't get a bill from the California Registration and Collections Division, you're likely going to need to make those franchise tax board payments that you've got tucked away in your folder. You're going to need to make it payable to California Tax and Fee. I can't remember the name of the
I know
agency.
exactly what you're talking about because I
Okay,
had already done the
okay,
legwork. Yeah, it's the
perfect. Okay,
California
so
Department of, yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
So you're letting the comptroller know, listen, there's some outstanding liabilities here connected to my blue card person that may or may not be liened at the state level. I'm trying to come forward and take care of this shit, right? So make your FTB, because it's the fiduciary for the trust that comes forward to pay any outstanding liabilities for the blue card. So that's why those are called pass-through entity state OMB forms, but it's a state OMB form. It's their own particular inventory number. You feel me?
Yes.
So tax fee and registration, I believe, collections department, I believe it is. And
You're close. You're close.
if you just make sure if you just make sure for credit to this driver's license ID person's account. Now, if you did your social, that's fine too, because it does track to your to your driver's license, a state ID number. They're all bonds connected together in one train that you are the, the train, you're the front guy in the front car of the train, right?
Okay.
So, but it helps them settle the account and the outstanding liabilities if you give them as many little information IDs, specific IDs as you can, and maybe it's just on the cover page. Please settle the account, driver's license ID number, blah, 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 for credit to the account that's charging you, blah, blah, blah. And then date it, and then sign it, whatever. It's just very simple. You're just giving them permission to settle the accounts for you. Super easy peasy, there's nothing ambiguous about it. It's all very straightforward. When you're coming in as the payer, you're always the boss, and you're just simply holding them harmless. And they're just data entry people, you guys. They're not there to make a determination for you. They're not an administrative court judge. They're not even a traffic judge. We know that they're all without bonds, you guys. We're actually the real holders in due course with a pen who have the right title and interest to settle any outstanding accounts that we don't like. Now, as our enforcement, and by the way, you're going to have to check into your Franchise Tax Board portal or California Department of Tax and Fee.
That's
Not
what it
sure
is,
which one. You
yeah.
have to have a profile. Okay, you have to go in there, create a profile in there as well. They have to know your mailing address so they know where to send the bills, because they're going to send you the coupon that you can attach to your fiduciary, ES&B, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your service. Please make all parties whole. Here's my offering. If, in fact, you don't get cooperation and you don't see some kind of satisfaction and closure, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you get to do a B on the agency that charges you, still charging you. And you get to take that amount that they're charging and bring it back to your blue card person times 10. The B is a federal, let's just call it a federal enforcement receipt. It's a way of invoicing these agency operators. In the past, what we're finding out is they've actually taken our credits. I call them script because it's mana.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken it, they've zeroed out the account, but not made the adjustment in the public, kept
Right.
your blue card
Right.
person fucking leaned. Okay?
Yep.
That's how the cartel works. That's why they've always had 2 and 3 and 4 different sets of what we call books. Another word for it is called it's called a journal. Our journal of events. Okay? This is why some of these states are being taken out of Basel IV compliance, ISO compliance. They have been found wanting. They have been found in breach of the public trust known as California Free State Republic. They've stolen from the Treasury, which in a sense is stolen from you and me, the living. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have a
definitely.
duty to report those fuckers if they don't cooperate with us. So we can always say on our cover letter, thank you for your cooperation. If you don't cooperate, we've got the magic wand in our back pocket right now, and we get to now report to the federal, which is our baseball bat, that the California Tax and Fee or Franchise Tax Board is withholding without my consent.
So,
Meanwhile, you're just filing your taxes on this end of it, and you're getting paid left and right, but you've notified. I call it the protector and then the nanny state, right? So the protector is the one whose job it is to make sure if you've been liened erroneously, if there's a lien on your blue card person, it is erroneous. We were supposed to be prepaid all along. Prove
Correct.
me wrong. Nobody can, right? So, especially when you've exhausted your administrative remedy, you've even given over your signature for the use of a third party agency, debt collector, that aren't even supposed to be charging us anymore, but I digress. Now we have the B's, the use, the form, and the purpose. We are the ones with the bat now. We are the federal agency working as a federally privileged worker in the covenant of the Most High. And we're alive because didn't we send our non-decedent to our Paxton, who's the head of all the comptroller? He's the head of the purse. He's the head of the pursers. His
Well, I
job is
haven't
to
done that
protect
yet. Does
us
that?
from erroneous rogue agents who are freaking found wanting under racketeering and freaking jumping on people's ships and stealing their graves, literally, like stealing from people's graves, okay? But we had to show a record that we did our part and we gave our signature of authority. We're holding them harmless. It's up to them if they're going to get snared in a trap because they're all in a trap right now. They all have a fiduciary duty to perform for our benefit.
So I just want to be clear, Kim Marie, you're saying when I do the forms that, because I did use my social security number on there when I endorsed the back of the voucher. So you're
Yeah,
saying
that's
to use,
fine.
oh, but I mean, when I do it, when I redo, I'm asking is, I thought I heard you say it's to give them like a driver's license number or something else.
No,
Is,
no,
is,
no. Let's put it this way. If you said that they're tickets, so the ticket created an account that's unbalanced. They're a revenue officer. They're trying to collect from the living, but hoping that the living won't catch it.
all right.
So all I'm saying is when you turn it over on the back, you say, pay to the whoever it is that's
CDFT,
charging
it's,
you on that
right.
notification.
Mhm.
Pay to, okay, payable, you just say payable to, okay, this credit is payable to. I'm giving you the use of my credit for this matter and this matter alone to settle and close it, fuck around and find out, okay? So make payable to blah, 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 right? For violation ID number on your pink slip or your yellow slip or your freaking tax ticket, a case number, whatever the fuck it is. It's an account you're trying to settle, okay? Payable to blah, blah, blah for this account, okay? So if
Mhm.
it's a traffic ticket, you're going to have to find the traffic violation ID number because that's
Yeah,
an
I've got
account
all
they
my
created.
records.
All
I've got
right.
all of
Now,
them.
and then for credit to, for further credit to, because you're trying to make your blue card person, Social Security holder of the driver's license made whole. So you're saying, settle this fucking ghost account you created to revenue office from me, to revenue, to, to try to procure your fucking commission checks from me. And for further credit to the Social Security card person who's been liened. That's
So that's
called
just,
extortion.
yeah.
And all we're doing is evidencing the crime of Hobbs Act violations. You've liened my blue card. You have arrested my forward mobility. And that's a Hobbs Act violation, which is an 18 USC, by the way, and there's like 30 of them. It's called piracy on the high seas, right? So I'm not saying don't contract with them. I'm saying if you get a violation, if you get accidentally put into the public venue and they're whipping you and whipping you and whipping you and propaganding against you and using your name in a public venue, you just get to get paid now because of what we're talking about, the right that we have to do, which is to settle and close any public accounting, any public gossip, any public rumor. We have the right to rebut it. We're just rebutting it in a way that makes us make sure we're going to get our blue card person made whole on the back end through a tax return because we've ledgered the event, right? So just basically, you're just communicating on the back of that voucher the truth of the matter, okay?
So
Close,
will that have that same endorsement step by step? or just different information.
However you want to endorse it. You are the fact, the law, the truth, and the authorized representative who gets to take that pen and quash it. You're just quashing it. And you have evidence now that you quashed it. So if they don't cooperate, now you get to do a B, see, and get it all back times 10. And then I have a way of showing everybody how to have a lien release that was erroneously put on your blue card person. That's the advisory consolidated receipts document. And we can go into that at some point. Someone can just grab that document, put it in here. But all of this stuff that we're doing is we're winning our case before we ever drop our signature or our offering. Okay, it's a money order. It's an offer to settle. We're giving them the opportunity to be an honor. Okay, do the right thing. If you don't, your agency is going to get a big fat audit. That's what's going to happen. And the B procures the audit, right? So we don't have to be delayed in our collection processes. So don't get tripped up on it has to be done this way or that way. No, you're a living person writing your command because you're the designee who's in control of that blue card person and all the debts that have accidentally gotten into the public space. Okay? Just get your stuff done, and you'll be able to sense the clarity when you're actually doing it, right? You can't go into the tunnel because when we're not actually with the pen in hand administering in the moment, we're not in the present moment. We're just in speculation, assumption, and presumption. So that's why I try not to do one-on-ones and teaching people how to do this and how to do that, because I'm not navigating sentient ship right now, and it's impossible for me to do that. You know what I mean, right? So I'm trusting. That's right, and I'm trusting you, because especially when you realize that you really can't do anything fucking wrong. Okay, everything you're doing is bona fiable, right? It is with clean hands and pure intent. Just make sure your intent makes it on the paper. That's it. Simple.
Gotcha.
ABC 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Another all-nighter. I was very excited, and I'm still gonna follow through.
It's okay. It's okay. Yep. Just you got this. Like, you guys, add a minister. Okay. Instead of just add water, let's add a minister, because the minister comes in and is able to. We don't have to wait for some. You guys,
special moment to do it.
There is no fucking government. We are the civil authority. We have been tasked with taking care and self-governing and governing our own affairs. That means papers, persons, and effects that we are in control of. And all of it means the same thing. It's all your property, basically, that you're governing over, right? So if there was no settlement agency, if there was no court of competency, if there was no court of record, what would you do then? Well, you'd add a minister, wouldn't you? That's all we're doing. We are administrating that which we have control over, or that which we've produced in this world. Some people have offspring. Some people have EINs. Some people have case files a mile long. Some people have bankruptcies. Some people have stock shares that they're about to lose their asses in, and they're going to spend the next 5 years recouping their losses because the stock market's going away because it's a fucking casino.
Oh, wow.
So people are going to be a little shocked here in a minute. They're going to have a bam bam moment, we call it. You're going to get bitch slapped across the fucking head to wake the fuck up and realize there's no fucking government. Right? You can't. There's security, protection, administrators, signatories, holders in due course, and that's us. Living. Did you send a non-decedent? Did you let them know that you're alive and you're no longer lost at sea? I once was lost and now I'm found. Fuck around and find out, bitches.
Okay, but I didn't do that yet. I just got here, so I haven't done that part of it. I'm working on that as well.
Listen. Okay, listen. Here's the distinction for everyone listening. If you're only adjudicating for your blue card person, you haven't graduated into that private trust administrative jurisdiction yet.
Got it.
You don't need to advance until your ship, you've plugged all the holes in your blue card person ship. Why do you think I kept saying, you guys, we have to learn how to pay ourselves back? Because we're not going to get a tax return until our outstanding liability has been settled and made whole. The only way these EIN companies, exempt entities, which are banks, governments, and courts, the only way they can go and recover their losses, the only way, I'm going to say it a third time, the only way they can cover their purported erroneous losses is taking it into a civil court and making it a material matter, showing that they lost money because you didn't cooperate and pull over to the side of the road when they turned their red and blue lights on. Somehow the county lost money because you didn't cooperate, Santian. Okay,
They're not even supposed to have those lights
avoid the
on.
revenue officer. Okay, fuck around and find out.
That's my mantra for this week. Fuck
You
around
feel
and
me?
find out. Yeah. Oh, man.
Everything we're doing is setting ourselves up to enforce in case we need to enforce it. But we will have already created the ledger. This is why are we all filing for 2024 when 2024 is over? Because we wouldn't have had receipts for 2024 until after 2024 is settled and closed. Get it?
Yeah. Got to create our own. Yeah.
Got to create the ledger, got to create the receipts, got to tally the receipts, got to tally all your little cookies that you contributed to your wonderful little township and community and state. Meanwhile, all these fiduciaries that were supposed to be actually clean hands, bona fide, and not Hobbs Act violators, 18 USC, all around racketeers, going in their back door, paying these fucking black bag debt collectors. If you want to stay in business, Mr. Italian restaurant, you better give me a third of your fucking cash receipts in cash for the month.
Good luck with that.
Well, but do you see that they've already paid the rogue tax agents in the county, wherever the Masons are at? They all been paid to shut the fuck up. You get it?
I certainly do.
It's
Yes.
all 18 USC. Look up Hobbs Act violation. It's called piracy on the high seas.
I'm
Every
familiar.
single charge right now, honestly, is erroneous. I don't care. I'm going to still take it. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to pay it double. Guess who has a receipt times 2 now? And if they fuck around and find out, they're going to get a receipt. They're going to end up owing the tax on 10 times the amount they tried to charge us for.
Exactly.
And then the IRS will go take care of their charter because they're not supposed to have taxable events. Oopsie.
Like the nonprofits. Yeah.
Right. But that's what the bees do. That's the power of the bees. It's called enforcement. Here you go, CID, that works for the military, by the way. They don't fucking work for the IRS or the Treasury. They work for the military. Who's in charge right now? The Postmaster General under UPU and ITU, who's supposed to be protecting our commerce and our communications. Who are they protecting us from? Rogue agents that are racketeering. Full circle. Full stop. Full fucking circle, full stop. We are the ones with the magic wand in our hand now, and it looks like a blue pen, is all I'm saying.
All right. I'm on this website and it's asking if I am the owner of the business or a third party designee. I'm thinking the latter.
Well, are you the owner of the blue card person at this time in history?
I guess I am.
Okay, so check this out. I'm so glad you just said that. I want to share this with everybody right now, okay? Because all the bankers, the VPs, the officers, the fucking rogue agents working with the fucking, I'm not kidding you guys. The Masons, and their fucking little bitches are all these banks and courts and government instrumentalities that have breached the public trust. They've all been caught wanting. Their hands are filthy. None of it's bona fide. And the comptroller, the AG, and the SOS is simply looking for who is the competent administrator collecting mail for Sentient Princess 23. If you're currently collecting mail that comes in the name of the all cap Social Security person that your name is on, you're the fucking owner of that birth certificate and that Social Security card and the name. Anybody in this movement that wants to come and try to tell me we don't own the name, I dare you. I've got receipts to show you proof that we do own it.
I can't remember his name right now, but there's a gentleman that really goes deep to try to disclaim that.
I don't care. I do not care who's trying to say that I don't own my blue card person Social Security card, of which I have 5, or my birth certificate, of which I'm literally the single widow beneficial interest holder, the designated successor of my mother and father who are located on my birth certificate. Come and try to prove to me that that their names, that my name is not on that birth certificate. And if I wanted to, I could go order a death certificate from my father who's listed on my birth certificate. Could you do that, Sentient?
Yeah.
Could you go order a death certificate for the man that's listed on your birth certificate? Could you?
I already have one, but yes, I could.
Wait, just answer yes or no. Could you?
Yes, I can.
That means you're the fucking owner. In consanguinity, in lineage, in legacy, you are the owner. Now, they've been stealing from our estate escrow accounts because the only way that they could get even a cookie given to them was if they dragged you through a civil court case, and the amount of loss being declared by some fucking rogue foreclosure agent has to be $21 or more of loss.
Wow.
That's enough for them to do a 1966 tax lien act on your blue card person. Until we come forward as the beneficial interest holder and holder in due course of that blue card, why do you think everybody that's going to the IRS having to verify their identity, they ask you to bring your fucking blue card? Because that's what they've been stealing this whole time, to the tune of even saying we don't own the name.
Can I ask you one question with regard to
It was given to you by the Social Security Administration. You don't own the name. Fuck you. Prove me wrong.
Well, you just answered
guys,
that
there's so many charlatans out there in this movement. And the quickest way to find out who may be lying or misdirecting you is if you sense even one little tiny sense. You get 1 cent that they're trying to limit you or throw a log in front of you to make you fall or trip up. Someone trying to tell me that I don't own the name? I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Fucking amen right now. They have nothing but assumption and presumption. We have all the facts in our records. That's why they want the beneficial interest holder to come forward, so that you don't have to go fucking verify your identity like I had to wait in line for 4.5 hours on a Saturday. Because they've been stealing people who are just supposed to be agriculture workers, or 6 months out of the year, they're here to pick our cabbage for us, bless their hearts. And they go back home 6 months here, 6 months there. They work here for 6 months during our harvest season of all of our fruits and vegetables and stuff. Well, they've been using those Social Security, those work, they get a TIN, but it's just only supposed to be good for 6 months. It's just a work permit. And what do these fucking farmers and these other third-party rogue agents do? They use and steal that temporary TIN that's just supposed to be a temporary worker's permit, who's paying taxes while they're here, but they're also getting paychecks while they're here because they're agriculture people, right? That's where a lot of the stealing has been happening and misuse, misappropriations, misuse of people, hardworking people coming here to pick our fruits and vegetables. That's who they've been stealing from, you guys, these rogue agents. So this is why we're having to come verify our identity, bring maybe even put a non-decedent letter or whatever if we're going to start operating out of the, living trust side of our legacy, whatever. But until further notice, you're taking care of your blue card person, and we can't move forward in commerce until we paid all those outstanding liabilities with a piece of paper. On the 1099 miscellaneous, it even says on there the definition of cash. It says, when they say to us, do not send us cash, guess what their definition of cash is? Money order, cashier's check, blah, blah, a couple other things. But then they put at the bottom, guess what they say? Do not send us a personal or business check. That's in the instructions on the 1099 miscellaneous. Literally, they say, do not send us a personal or business check to pay this tax liability. I'm telling you guys, there are very few people who have clarity to this degree, and I feel like I have it only because I was sent here to do this mission. And this mission was to rescue Kimberly Teeter. And if I can rescue me, and I can adjudicate, and I can arbitrate, and I can make my blue card person whole, guess what? So can you guys. That was a 9-hour testimony of how I made myself whole. Why am I the only one sharing receipts of 3 tax returns I've gotten? Well, today, right before we got on here, I was able to find out, because I had to verify my identity, and I did 4 1040Xs for my blue card person, and I was able to go and capture any outstanding liabilities that I have still due and owing on behalf of my blue card person. And guess what? I'm now in a contract with the Honorable Ken Paxton and my single member LLC, which is my queen on my chessboard, is the one that is steering the ship now, along with my sole prop. Both of my parents are home. Daniels and Kimberly are home. Both are trustees who are self-governing in the Sea of Commerce. I've effectively moved my assets from California to here, and I'm administrating like a boss. And now this stack of documentation with my CAF numbers and stamps and all that stuff all over it goes to the comptroller with my 709, with all my stuff. I'm just surrendering my bundle to the one responsible to make my blue card person whole. I did the writ of restitution. I withdrew myself from the public side of the Social Security side of the no more profiting. I just work in the private now, right? So, but just because you go in the private doesn't mean you may not incur public liabilities. And you still have to be competent to settle your affairs arbitrarily, arbitrarily, oops, I got a DUI, oops, I got a traffic ticket, oops, I got a case number filed against me for not cooperating with a fucking blue red light dude. Okay, what if I put blue and red lights on my fucking car? What if you turn them on me, I turn them back on you? Fuck around and find out, you guys. If they've been able to do this, what I'm doing, we get to now do it back to them, but only better. And we're actually the ones in honor. Their dishonor is being highlighted. We're turning the spotlights on these guys. Rogue agents. They're firing 50% of the IRS force. We heard some interviews from some of those that are being fired. Guess what? Oh, CPAs and attorneys for different corporations. They decided they want to go serve their country and debt collect from corporations now at the IRS. Well, they all got their fucking walking papers. Good luck trying to audit any one of us, Mr. Attorney. And thank you for that attorney that showed up here last week and told us that he rescinded all of his credentials. He's no longer working for the bar. He's working for the benefit of the living people here on this rock. helping people who are being erroneously evicted out of their homes and charged erroneously still with no hazard bonds, no oaths of office. No more foreign. You know who's being shipped out of this country? Every fucking bar attorney who didn't turn their bar card in. Prove me wrong. You can't. So I thank that attorney for coming forward, and I thank you, Days, for putting that little special report together so we could push it out on TikTok. They've all been notified now. Oh, you can actually be a reformed attorney? Yes, but you have to surrender your fucking credentials. That's a national treasure. That's someone who's turned around and is going to use the law for the benefit of the living, not for the dead burying the dead, foreign agent, bailiff, judge, supposedly voted in by the people, constituents in his territory, paid for. A whore and a prostitute is all they've been. Whores and prostitutes. Parading as, oh, we're exempt. You know, we're exempt from taxation, we're exempt from reporting, and we're exempt from suit. Fuck you. No, you're not anymore. Now you're culpable in your personal capacity. It's done. Thank you for bringing that forward today. I'm telling you, Sentient, you've been such a benefit to all of us. Thank you for pulling that out of me today, sis. I yield.
Okay, good luck following that one. Ethan, stop raising your hand and unraising it, man. I'm trying to unmute you. People, I want to see hands in the chat, okay? Raise hands. All right, we're going to go to Deason. Shay, you will be next. Welcome, Deason.
Welcome. Oh, well, that's a good speech. See, everything is an alchemy, alchemistry. Oh, shoot. In fact, like risk. I risk the trust. Yeah, see, everything is. Oh, yeah, in fact, when we writing on the paper, we're creating an autograph, right? And then when we typing the information, it's a telegraph. Then when you pretty much you're recording a sonograph thing. And then when you, what's the last thing? Photograph. What we seeing on the screen right now, that's a photograph. I'm saying all that to say, we're balancing. Oh yeah, it's law of thermodynamics. So what they did is create a substance into form and moved everything into form. And now you have to do everything within that form. Now what it is, you have to bring back that form into substance, which is utilizing that blue pen and paper. You following? But yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. So now we're pretty much going back into substance instead of going in the form, because they've been acting in the form. They got us. See, this reminds me of why the second what's the second commandment? Thou shalt have no graven image of yourself. Meaning, they got us to create a graven image. You know what I'm saying? They convinced us to do it. That's how they able to get away with what they've been getting away with. Oh yeah, pretty much, or some would say following the universal law. So it's just up to us to get back to that universal law, which is doing these forms, letting it be known that we're alive, that we're here. That's all I'm gonna just say and land my plane from here.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful confirmation. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the floor is open.
Oh shoot, even I'll say one more thing and then let everybody say what they need to say. Or even when the scriptures say, see, I'm not trying to be a warlock or a witch. I'd rather remain being a wizard, because the scriptures say, you shall know them by their fruits. You know what I'm saying? The fruit, spiritual. When you test the fruit, you can do that. Now you know what to do when you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Now you know what fruit or rock or foundation to stand on, which is prevalent, which is important. That's it.
Thank you, Deason. Jones. welcome. Please unmute.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Okay, so is this like a praise report or do we just ask general questions?
Don't just give us what you got. Okay.
Okay, so I want to know how to handle a certain situation. Like, for instance, I am a mailbox holder with UPS. So now they're forcing us to have two forms of identification, which they did not previously, right? So I know that that picture on that ID, in essence, is not me. I know that whole thing, like on the driver's license.
Shay, they just need a passport. Give them a passport. If you don't have one, get one. They just need a passport and a driver's license or a state ID. You're good. You're the owner.
Okay,
That's
so
it. That's it.
just my driver's license.
And your passport. Two
I don't
forms
have.
of picture ID. You are the owner now. Full stop.
Well, could I use a expired passport, or it have to be current?
You could try it, but get that fucking thing up to date.
Okay.
You can absolutely try it. I did it online yesterday with an online notary so that my private mailbox would be up to date and I'm verified that I'm the owner of all those assets that go in and out of that mailbox.
Yes,
I'm the
ma'am.
boss. That's right. Just give them two forms of ID. Some people have a DD12 or whatever, whatever second form of ID you've got. It all works. They just need two pictures.
Okay. Well, they said that or my insurance card.
Shay,
Okay,
you
well,
got this.
yeah,
You're gonna
got
give
it.
them two
Just
forms of ID.
yeah.
It's all gonna work
Okay.
out, I promise. Thank
Okay.
you so much. We're gonna go to Denise Black. Welcome, Denise. Please unmute. Denise Black, you are up.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a gratitude for I was going through the Love Boat on YouTube, and I found there's so much information in there. One of the things I found was that W0 that Kim was talking about a few minutes ago. But when I went to Chat GPT, that's kind of a lot of misinformation. What they said, the W0 certificate of federally privileged status was a sovereign myth. So I just was wondering if Kim Mary knew where we could get that form, if it's still out there.
Well, it has been. We were the ones that they went to war with, remember?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Remember, every single exempt agency, I'll name them again, government instrumentality, court, or bank, were all at war with us, and revenue policy enforcers of an administrative court, which is a lesser court, no subject matter jurisdiction over property and living people. So if you look up the W0, and someone can post it in here if they want, the instructions on it literally say federally privileged worker. I can work, it's all private contracts. You guys all know by now, private contracts cannot be interfered with. Okay? So you can hire any one of your EINs to be a worker for your estate to benefit you for a change. Your withholding agent, your sole prop, all of them can work for you in the private, and you can pay them all day long. All I do when I'm filing for one of those EINs for the first time is I slap that W0 onto the front page. I put confidential across the top because I am a private person. I am not at war with myself. I am a living designee. I have the blue pen in my hand, and the assumptions and presumptions will not be seen in a court of competent jurisdiction, which is arbitration, which is through the mail. We already are in a contract with the Treasury. We know this already through our UCC contract trust. So, what study buddy group are you in? Please.
Grandma Millie's.
Okay, awesome. We're going to make sure, Grandma Millie and I will make sure that we actually put the W0 form in your records box, okay? So we'll make sure it's in there because some of you may want to look into that. It's very clear. It's very simple to understand. And now that everybody knows we're in receivership, everybody knows we are the holders in due course of our papers, persons, that means any of your EINs that you've created, and effects. What's an effect? Any place your blue pen goes is your effect.
Okay, thank you very much. Because I couldn't
You're
find. I
welcome
went to
very much. And
IRS.
remember, you guys, federal. Federal means covenant. Look it up in etymology. We are in the original covenant. Just like Deason said just a minute ago, we're taking it out of form and fiction and putting it back into a material fact. In fact, we are the trustee. We are the trustee absolute. We're the executor or executrix absolute. We're the president absolute. We're the mayor absolute. We're the governor absolute. We are the beginning and the end of any material matter. And no one can tell me I can't hire my blue card person to work for me in the private. No one. And I have a duty to at least pay at minimum wage. But our sole prop is exempt. At least my CP5, my sole prop says CP5 75G, which is exempt. They've been operating around and masquerading as an exempt entity when we were the ones that were exempt all along. Exempt from levy. Or taxation without representation. We are the representatives, in fact, now, right? It's all in our hands now. It's to whom much is given, much is expected, right? So we're setting forward our jubilee. We're setting forward our returns of credit that are on our records, that are, treasure chest, mana. It's not just the credits that we've paid into the system since we started working with our blue card. It's that death certificate that my father's on. I own the interest on that annuity, which is $1 million a year that I can cash in. 24% draw down on that $1 million annuity because that birth certificate person's name is on my birth certificate. That's my consanguinity. That's my dad's name on there. I can now make my family whole. I can now arbitrate on behalf of my family through the mail. Arbitration is how the salvage law, Carriage of Goods by Sea Act, only by an act of God can a superior form of jurisdiction arise. We are that act of God, and we have risen.
Thank you, Kim Marie. Thank you, Denise. Jason J, welcome. You are unmuted, or you're on stage. Unmute yourself, please. Jason J. Okay. Well, we're going to go to Marte then. Marte Lovebay, welcome.
Love and light. I like to give my gratitude to God, to the Galactic Council, to the Palladian Council, to the Arcturian Council, to Kim Marie and her staff, administration staff is just all love. I'm very thankful that the universe guided me uh, to this energy, and I yield.
Thank you for that. Beautiful, Martela Bay. I received that gratitude. Thank you. We're here to help. All of us are. Some of us just are a little louder than others.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marte. Jason, Jay, if you are there, please unmute yourself. Otherwise, the floor is open. Please raise your hand to come up on stage. All right, we're going to throw it to Indigenous. Welcome, Indigenous. You are unmuted.
Peace. Uh, Everybody, peace and recoupers. I wanted to come up real quick. I know I usually start off with being happy with good graces, even though I wake up happy because I motivate myself to feel that way. But I'm kind of disappointed at my group. Meaning before this Saturday comes up, I find that I have a bunch of um um individuals that they starve for knowledge, but when they have a chance to be amongst individuals that can help them on a journey is why we do this Saturday. I know it's not all about question asking, but I try to motivate these new people that's struggling to understand what a UCC1 is. But when it comes down to speaking up, I hear crickets. And it's amazing to me when you make errors and then accuse other individuals for your mistake when you can't even speak up. So I like to say that because in a little minute, I'm going to start kicking a few people out of my group because they're too silent for me. That's it. I love everyone, but don't be surprised if you're that person.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, yeah, that's, you gotta run the group by a certain set of standards and entirely fair. Carissa, you are now unmuted. Welcome, Carissa.
Thank you. I wanted to give some gratitude and just a few little insights I got this week. So I'm, as always, grateful for everybody in this group and everybody coming together and sharing their love and sharing their journey and their different little bits of information they gather along the way, because they all accumulate together and help us get to our goals, which is being free living people, able to handle our own affairs and live without any kind of oppression or suppression, as we're supposed to be, of love and light. I did get a chance yesterday to talk to the IRS about some issues that I had received, like some little love letters I got in the mail from them this week. So I had gotten a letter in response to my 2848 and my 8821 that I put in. And so I spoke to the IRS agent, and I so gratefully encountered an amazingly sweet woman who was so patient and stayed on the phone with me for about 40 minutes and answered anything that came to my mind. So I appreciated that. And she just let me know that that form, just to review all the information, make sure I wasn't missing any signatures or any dates or anything, and making sure that there were titles that were on there, and just go ahead and resubmit it to the fax number that's on that form, and just let them know of when the previous one was submitted, so that they know it's a copy, so that it doesn't stall anything any further, and that I should be receiving my CAF number after that within, at the most, like 30 days. So that was good. She did go ahead and check, like, in the background to make sure that there wasn't already one assigned that wasn't showing up. I did check to see as well with her because I had been having trouble. I had applied for an IRS account so I could file some 1099 online. And I hadn't been able to access that, but gratefully somebody else in the group after later in the afternoon helped me to see that I already had access. I just wasn't going into the right thing. So I do have access, so I can file those forms. I also, about a week ago, had gotten a frivolous filing letter. So I addressed that with her as well. And she just said, it sounds like from what you got, there's no fine associated. They just want some additional information or clarification. So she said, if you call them and the number on there, they should be able to clear that up over the phone. It shouldn't be anything major. And she said the primary reason that people get a frivolous filing that has a penalty associated with it is because they're submitting forms to the IRS that are not on the red, like magnetized carbon copies that we get from the IRS. She said that's the primary reason that they would associate a penalty with a frivolous. Otherwise, they're generally just looking for clarification or something was just there's a slight inconsistency that needs cleared up. So I was glad that I had that information because I did check my transcripts today to see if anything was updated, and I saw that they had put an 810 code on it, which means there's a refund freeze. And I looked into that a little bit, and it seems like it's because there is a frivolous letter that needs to be addressed. So I'm going to call them Monday and get that all sorted out. I did also check with them on my 1040s that I had submitted mid-December that were received by them at the beginning of January. And I told her, that I haven't seen anything showing up on my transcript. And I was just wondering if that was within the parameters of their time frame. I know that they shut down at the end of the year. So just wondering if that was acceptable or if something is wrong. I said, I did send it certified mail. I got my green card back. She said, okay, good. She said, you don't need to check every day, but just check like on Friday, the next couple weeks. If you don't see anything, feel free to resubmit the copies of what you sent in. Just indicate on them that they're a copy. And if there's any penalties associated, it would be from the first date that they were submitted, because I hadn't filed for 21, 22, or 23. So that was all in that packet. I also said I was kind of holding off filing 2024 because I wanted to make sure those showed up. And she said, don't hesitate to file 2024. Go ahead and stay in compliance with that and submit your return for 2024, whatever you need to do. And that won't be a problem. I said, okay, because I was waiting so I could submit some of the 1099s that I needed to. And she said, so I told her I didn't want to file a 1040X because I had read some of the literature that it can take up to 9 months to process. And she said, I don't see that happen. She said, we put a lot of that stuff out just so that people aren't calling us after they get a week. They're like, oh, you've had it for a week. Why haven't you done anything? So we give people those longer time frames just to deter them from calling us and bombarding us. She said the typical time to process a 1040X is 90 days, or if it's more extensive, for instance, if you filed like 100 papers and 50 of them need to be revised, that it would probably be closer to 120 days. So a lot of good information. I'm trying to make sure I remember everything I talked to her about because we had a really great conversation. She gave me a lot of good insight.
Carissa,
Yeah.
Carissa, I just posted in the chat. I have a privilege filing 810 freeze code as well. And when I talked to someone at the IRS a couple of weeks ago, just calling the regular 1040 line, she gave me the phone number of the privilege filing. So I don't know if you have it or not, or if anybody else needs it. I put it in today's chat. So it's in there. I just posted it.
Awesome.
So when you
I'll
call to
check
talk
that.
to them, yeah, that's the number you need to call. And they're going to do Friday, 8 to 4 a.m., 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you have to talk to them before they do anything. That 810 freeze code is not going to be removed until you set it in writing, whatever advice they give you, whatever you need to respond to them in writing, and they won't even consider removing it just by calling them. That's not considered responding to that letter, just so you know. I learned that. So I still have to send my stuff in, but just letting you know, you have to do it in writing to them when you respond to that letter. But you can call to inquire to see to get more details before you do that.
I'll cross reference the number that you posted with the one that's on my frivolous letter, because I did try to call it this morning. It's just Monday through Friday.
Right.
Yeah, 4:30, which I assumed it would be. I just kind of spaced off calling them yesterday. But I did, because it does say on the letter that it's in regards to a return. So I kind of inquired. I was like, no 1040s have been filed for 21, 22, 23. Well, they've been filed, but they haven't been addressed. And she said, when I look back at my records, I see that it seems that it's in regard to a 1099. Well, don't forget that a 1099 is considered a return. It's a return. And I was like, oh, you're so right. I appreciate you. I
So at the
forgot
top of
about
your
that. I'm
frivolous
thinking
letter,
about
it addresses the 1099 or addresses the 1040 at the top of your frivolous letter.
it literally only says in regard to your return. So it was non-specific.
Okay,
So,
got it.
but
Mine was specific to my tax
yeah.
returns. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it just said in regard to your return. And then she did kind of bring up to me, which I had forgot. They consider, a 1099 an informational return. So that's also considered a return. And that's when I went back to review my firm book to see what I had mailed around that time. That's what I saw, that I had mailed a 1099-C. So that's the issue that I need to address with them. So I just thought I would share that with everybody. Maybe it would give them some help if they're going through a similar situation or anything. And if you've submitted your 1040s and your ESVs, all that stuff around the end of the year, just know that they're still working on it. And like she told me, if in 3 weeks or 30 days, if I don't see anything, I can feel free to resubmit everything I submitted and just indicate on there that they're copies, so that they can be processed. But we're still within time frames for that, because I know maybe some of us are getting kind of antsy, like it's been 3 months. But yeah, that's just kind of how it's going. But yeah,
What I
if this
remind
helps
people when they get
anybody.
antsy that it's been 3 months, most of us on this call have never made $1 million or whatever your tax return is for in 3 months or even 12 months. So I remind myself of that on a regular basis when I'm frustrated or because of delays or wanting more paperwork or anything like that. You have to work your job just like any other job. You have to work this process just like you work your job. You work 40 hours a week to get $100,000 a year. Well, you work 2,080 hours a year to get $100,000, whatever your hourly salary is, right? So you have to work 2,080 hours. That's what people work for 40 hours per week in a year. So if you're only putting in, let's say, 120 hours in order to get 250,000 or even $1 million or whatever your tax returns are for 3 years or 4 years, you're way ahead of the game. So this is where we have to be patient, and everything is about
Absolutely.
perspective, because these are self-imposed deadlines. Even though the IRS says 3 weeks, they're still self-imposed, meaning like we're trying to put all our eggs in one basket. I was telling my twin sister who's doing a process as well with OIDs and her trust, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait for this one process to work to see if it works first, and then I do another." And I said, "Lori, don't you do that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you will be disappointed if something gets delayed and you're hanging your coat all on this one thing. I don't recommend it." And it's just like
That's
having a job. I don't recommend just having a job and thinking that's going to take care of all your problems. It's not. Financial problems. It's not. You need to have multiple streams of income.
yeah, we
And
have to we have to keep having inspired action and stay in our flow state and keep things moving. It's all momentum.
yeah, because you learn stuff along the way. Like, to the point I really wanted to make on this call today is that, like, we introduced processes and things like that to the group, but then along the way we learned that something's not working or something falls flat, or something, the information we got in the beginning is no longer valid for today, 6 months later, 3 months later. That's totally okay. And so I want people on this call to understand that the leaders on this call, and you guys are leaders too. So when I say leaders, I say that loosely, not just to the people that are hosting the call, but the people that's in the chats, in the topic folders and things like that. We're all still learning. We're not perfected. Some of us know more than others, but that doesn't mean that we're not your God. We're not. And don't ever think that we're going to be We're not going to make a mistake or misspeak, or even not even make a mistake, but misspeak. Like Kay Marie said earlier, there are no mistakes, and you're not delayed, and you're not denied, and you're not behind. All those things are true, but realize that you're the magic in your life. But it's all about our perspective and our mindset and the way that we look at stuff. I have to remind myself this on a daily basis, not weekly, not monthly, daily, a couple times a day. Okay, to be very honest, to encourage myself, because I have to execute just like you guys are doing. And there are things that I'm still behind, quote unquote, behind on because I got busy and life is lifing. But at the end of the day, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. That's what I have to remind myself. Heather, it's okay. It'll get done when it's supposed to get done, and you will get what you're supposed to get when you're supposed to get it. Just do your part though, because you can't show up to McDonald's and you work at Chipotle. Talk about where my check at. Know where you are. Like, read the room. Like, be mindful. Read the room. You got to understand what you're dealing with. And you can't just be expecting something from something that you didn't put any work at. That's why I brought it to McDonald's Chipotle. Because you can't go there. You did no work. You have no uniform. You have no tie to them. You have no contract with them. But yet, because someone told you that you are owed this and you did no work, you feel this sense of entitlement. Calm the fuck down and get all that ego off of your back, because you have some new information that you have not executed on. You have to do the work, just like when you work a freaking job. You got to do the work and you got to execute in order to see the results. And if you're going to follow a process, follow it, but also pay attention to what your spirit is leading you to do, because there may be some tweaks. And if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen, don't go back to the author or the person that suggested that process to you and start bringing them a new one and calling them out and all this other stuff. That's your fucking process. Because once you start tweaking, it's your process. Because no one in here invented the IRS on this call. No one in here has an OMB form that they created and now it's posted out there for the public. We're all using things that were processes that were put in place for us to use as people that have the authority to use them. We're just learning that now we have the authority and the right to do it. But let's learn how to do it correctly. And Chris, this is not me speaking to you at all directly. I'm just wanting to be clear about that.
No, preach, because it's all due diligence. It's all inspired action. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect. 1522, when we brought it out there, we thought everything was wonderful and roses. We were going to get paid in 2 weeks, and it fell flat. It's okay. It's okay. In my opinion, this is Heather's opinion. I'm not speaking for all of RECOUPERS. This is Heather's opinion. In my opinion, it fell flat, but that doesn't mean that it didn't work at one point. It worked at one point. But right now, I personally don't have any new information about 1522. But we had all the best intentions when we brought it to the group. I want you guys to start looking at people's intentions. And like Kay Marie said earlier, there are a bunch of people out here that's some bootleg and some scammers, all the things. But if you don't feel right about something I am saying or anybody else is saying on this call, don't do it. Don't do it. Trust
We
yourself.
all have discernment, right? We all are adults here. I just said this within a group the other day. I said none of us here are toddlers. Now let's not run around playing victim because something didn't work. Scrap that. Don't be afraid to scrap it and start anew. It's fine. It's fine to throw it away and start new.
Right.
And you're still right on time.
Exactly. Like Tom said, are you the age of majority? Stop acting like you're a baby when you're not. Stop it. Be the age of majority and operate in maturity. Get out of here. So
Let's all
I just
step
want to
into
encourage
our
everybody.
adulthood.
Right. Encourage you. Thank you for saying that and for bringing that up. And that's why I even started my little part 2 of my TED Talk and started ranting. But yeah, just be encouraged. Well, I have to encourage myself on a regular basis. We're here to learn. And stop going in these chats blaming, say, well, does this shit work? Or is this bogus or whatever? It works if you work it. And be patient. Again, nobody's on this call hasn't even made majority. I can discern. And you guys can call me out if you want to. Some of y'all never even made $100,000 a year. I make 6 figures at my job at Amazon. If I don't do shit else, I can sit here and pocket one of my checks, honestly, and not do shit with it. You know why? Because I'm a good steward over the money that I have, and my expenses are low. Not because I haven't fucked it up before, because I have, living paycheck to paycheck, even recently, and was homeless and all that. But at the end of the day, I had to get myself back together and remember who the fuck I am and get back on track. I am responsible for my life and no one else. Nobody on this fucking call is responsible for your life and or your results, period. So I'm sick of it. Hearing it in the chat about, oh, what about this? This is some bullshit? You got, first of all, watch how you talk to people. I'm talking very stern and strong on this call right now, but watch how you talk to people. You don't know where a person is right now. You don't know where they are. Be kindness should always be on the agenda and on the menu for today. You should always make sure that when you talk to somebody, your intention is to make them smile and be good and be kind to them. Not this BS of trying to check somebody. Calm all that the fuck down. And you know who I see it mostly do? A bunch of men in the comments. Cut it out. You guys are leaders. Lead. And start being kind to each other. And stop talking crazy to each other, especially men to men arguing like some little bitches. Cut that shit out. This shit is weird. It is not cute. You're not helping the community. You don't see me arguing with people in comments, even as females. Most people call female bitches when they start acting really weird. I don't argue with people because you have no heaven or hell to put me in, and your opinion is not more important than my own. That's why I don't argue with people, especially online. Y'all don't even know me in real life for real. You know things about me, things that I've shared, that I've allowed. You know my spirit, hopefully, but you don't know me. You know the persona that I put out there on Telegram. That's what you know.
That's it.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I was just co-signing.
Co-sign away.
You got your co-signers right here, baby girl.
I just can't stand to let people know. Oh, I know K. Marie. What she said, I don't give a fuck what K. Marie said. What does your spirit say? And no disrespect to her, but that's my girl. What did your spirit say? Take some ownership and accountability around here.
Always go within. Always.
Gosh, I'm tired of seeing these babies. I'm sick of it. You guys want $1 million, but can't even handle 50,000 that you make on your job now. You know how I know? Because you over there scraping and your lights are finna get cut off. Not because life hasn't happened, but because you was out there trying to kick it and look like you was something more than you was. That means you're not a good steward. You don't know how to budget. You know when I do my budget? Every Saturday morning, I sit on this computer and go open an Excel spreadsheet and I look line by line what went through my account and what I have to prepare for 2 weeks ahead and 2 weeks back. And I don't even have to go back 2 weeks because I'm already doing it every week. But I always go 2 weeks ahead when I'm making sure that I have enough money in my account. Then also I go 3 months ahead in my budget. I know how much my check is every 2 weeks, even if it's off by a couple dollars. Who cares? I put that amount on the spreadsheet. I know what my bills are every single month. I throw that in there, and I know how much money I'm gonna fuck off. I have a throwaway checking account that I only use for that. I throw $200 in there every time I get paid, just because I want to buy something on Amazon that I have no business buying, because I'm addicted to online shopping. Let's just keep it real. That and Temu. Temu got me in the chokehold. But anyway.
Listen, you have been generous too, and I thank you for your generosity. You know, when a tree falls through your fucking windshield, sometimes people come through with their little Temu account and help you out.
Telling y'all. But anyway, back to the conversation at hand, because we only have 30 more minutes. My bad. Y'all carry on. Who got the hand raised?
Oh, that's all good, sis. We're just hugging it out.
Okay. So we have Lisa Love
Wait,
Warrior
I'm sorry.
or Kiambu.
Wait, sorry, Days.
Go ahead,
Carissa, were
go
you
ahead.
done, honey? I interrupted you. Were you done, baby?
I love everything you said. That's the thing. We're all supposed to be showing our fruits of the spirit, and we're supposed to be of love and light, and also being on our grown people stuff and handling our affairs and trusting our discernment and moving forward in power. And if we can help others while we are going through what we're going through in our waiting periods and just learning how to be still, that's amazing. That's what God wants us to do. So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing if we're living like that.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me cut in on your time, and thank you for giving words of wisdom as well. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. You all fired up. I love it. I'm all for it. Go for it, sister.
Sometimes you just got to say what needs to be said. So, all right, Lisa Love Warrior and or Kiambu. You had your hands raised. You were both unmuted. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. So, wow. I guess first I'll say round of applause to Carissa and Dr. Heather, and of course Kim Marie. I don't think any of us would be here if it wasn't for Kim Marie, to be honest with you. But yeah, Dr. Heather, I agree with every single thing you said. Like, we've all made mistakes. We go up and down. I mean, your speech was long. It's a roller coaster, but yes, right on point and probably what people needed to hear. So thank you for that. And yeah, like I said, just want to say thank you for the entire group. Sometimes, yeah, dealing with these processes with the IRS, it doesn't go smoothly. I think all of us, we've had rejections and everything on this journey. So I'm not gonna say it's nice to know, but I'm not the only one, is what I'm saying. So other people go through it and they find ways, they talk to the IRS, they share their information. And like you said, we just have to keep trying. We just have to keep putting it out there, which is what I've been doing. So if you get your rejections, you just have to keep it going. So, and I'm thankful for this group every Saturday. I don't get to make it every single Saturday, but I make it most. And so it encourages me. It keeps me up, it keeps me going. And it feels good to know that there's a good team and a group of good people that are trying to be lights in the world of darkness that we're dealing with. So just want to say thank you again to Kim Marie, Dr. Heather, and everybody. I'm very, very grateful to you.
Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Lisa. Kiambo, if you are there,
I'm
this is your
here.
chance
I'm
to
here.
chime in.
Happy Saturday,
Gibson, you will be
everybody.
next. Welcome, Kiambu.
Hey, what's going on? Just want to give thanks to this group as always, every single week. Everybody gathering around, Jeremy, Heather, Kimmery, everybody. Very appreciative of this. So I want to give gratitude to that first and foremost. I just want to piggyback off of Carissa, what she said about the A10 code. I got the same thing. I think I spoke about that a couple weeks back. And I like I said, I want to piggyback it and say that I did go to the IRS office to confirm what was needed. I got the love letter from that, and I've confirmed. I gave them my 1099B receipt, and they accepted it, and they stapled it to the letter that I got. They stamped it and gave it back to me. So I had action required on the 1040 that I did, and that was the thing that I clarified. And then I checked it and went back to return receive. So my status has been updated for that. So it's going back to processing. Then this past week, it went from that to action required again. I said, what's this? So I called the IRS and find out, hey, I got this action required thing. And how long does it take for this 810 refund freeze to be removed from my transcript? So one lady was very helpful, and she had told me they'll take 30 days for it to be removed. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I called again another day to find out what's this actually required. Am I getting another letter or whatever the case may be? I got two agents and they told me they couldn't hear me on the phone. I could hear them clear as day, but they couldn't hear me. So I just said, all right, that's perfectly fine. So I left it alone. I said, I'll probably try to call back Monday or Tuesday. So today I checked my status and it went back from action required back to return received, and the refund date will be available if applicable, whatever the case may be. So I don't know whether to take that as a good sign that it's back and I should get a refund date available coming. I'm that's hoping. I'm just waiting for it to be approved. So
You better take that as a positive, buddy.
Yes.
well, I am. That's why I'm calling. That's why I'm
Be,
speaking to you guys
listen,
up.
be careful. Be careful calling on the phone a lot, okay? It can really start to raise red flags for them that maybe we've got someone here who's not really privy to what's going on the backside. So just be careful calling, you guys. Okay? Be good stewards over your records. Make copies of everything. Put your official acceptance on those screenshots or those printouts when you get them, just so that you have, our full-time job, you guys, is bookkeeping, adjusting, and mailing. Like, we're the actual postmaster now of our own ship. So be careful calling. Every time we check into our portal, that is recorded. So if you're calling a lot, I'm just warning you, be careful.
Gotcha.
And it's not going to make it go faster.
Yeah. I guess I just wanted to see what it was. So that usually I leave it alone. But
This is
sometimes
what
when
I
I see,
suggest. This is just my suggestion. When you see your status change, give it 3 weeks from that date before you call again.
okay,
3 weeks, 21 days from that date.
for the last
Last
update.
update, yes.
Got you. Got you.
Before you call again. That gives it enough space and time because their system could be just updating. It could be an error. You don't know what it is. Let that stuff marinate. It's like if you take the chicken out the oven too soon, it's gonna be not cooked.
Yeah.
Me and
We
my
don't,
analogy just
we,
today.
we don't want no chicken unseasoned and uncooked, right?
Like we like our seasoning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
wink, wink. Like,
Wink,
come
wink.
on. Anyway, let's
Definitely.
get off the phone with these analogies. Go ahead, y'all. Y'all keep
Yeah.
going.
So I just wanted to bring that up as an update on the table. So I'm taking it as a good sign, and I just saw that today. So I just want to let you guys know that, and I'm not calling him. So I'm just gonna let it. I'm just
Trust
gonna let it
yourself.
rock.
Trust yourself. Trust
I,
yourself. Trust yourself.
that's all I'm gonna do, and that's why I appreciate you guys, and I yield back, and I want to thank y'all. Have a rest of your good Saturday, and that's all I have to say.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Kiambu. And yeah, keep us up to date moving forward. We're gonna go to Gibson right now. Ronald, you will be next. We got 18 minutes left, guys. So let's make it count.
Gratitudes, everybody, and thank you guys for what you do here. This is and that fiery speech by Kimmery earlier was just inspiring. And thank you, Heather, for that little kick in the ass that we all need to remember to remind us that look, we're in this for ourselves. We can't be relying on anybody else. We got to administer for ourselves. So, yeah, I believe everything I heard today is right on cue. As far as me, I sent my 23s back in November. I waited a little while, didn't hear anything, see anything on my transcript. So I went ahead and packed up and copied everything and sent it with the X and along with my 24s in the beginning of January. And they played a little game with the post office there for a while. And one of my green cards went on a ride all over the country for about 3 weeks until I finally got it back. But then it's been crickets. I haven't had anything on my transcripts. I've heard nothing, no love letters or anything. Till yesterday, I got a letter from the Franchise Tax Board of California just wanting some information, just basically verifying the children that and our address and anything like that. That's basically all they're asking for. But as far as that's where I sit now. I'm just kind of waiting on my love letter from the IRS. But I did get one from the Franchise Tax Board yesterday. But it's nothing serious. Just asking for verification of some information.
Beautiful. They have to check with the nanny, especially if you have dependents that you reported on your return. Good for you.
Yeah, I have one that's 18, and it was real close to whether he's born in August, and they cut you off in like June, I think, as far as being able to claim them. So I don't know if
Yeah,
that
but
has anything to
not
do
if
with it.
he's still in school. If he's still in school, even if it's homeschool.
Well, he
I mean,
actually
I'm just saying.
graduated 2 years early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got you. Well, don't you worry about a thing. The nanny has to report to the Fed, the daddy with the bat, that there's no taxable income due or reportable that needs to be reported at the state level. So I think you've done everything right. You're in good standing, and we're going to see you in the Golden State tent, right? Because you're in
Yes.
Cali.
Yep. Got
Good
in there
job.
yesterday
Okay.
and put a little
Awesome.
notice out.
Yep. Yep. Franchise tax board is lucky you didn't ask them for a state return. Anyway, I hold my tongue and we
This
got
is
this.
true.
Okay. Good job, brother.
Hell yeah. Okay. Gibson, thank you so much. Hey, Ronald, you raised your hand, then you unraised it. If you wanted to chime in, go for it. Patrick, you'll be next. Welcome, Ronald.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I just have two things. I'm grateful for just being a part of the movement. I call it a movement. God has a great movement going on, so I'm glad I'm part of it. And very thankful for the group. I haven't utilized the group in a verbal way. Most of the time I've used it as just through all the different Recouper kind of information that is in there, and I'm trying to glean information from comments. But I want to start talking to people more to to maybe help mitigate some of the long text that you have to go through. But anyway, wanted to go over two little things, and if somebody could comment about them afterwards, that would be wonderful. The first thing is I actually went to the IRS and had a meeting with them on my 1040 ES and Vs, and I explained what I was doing, and the guy in the actual agent said to me, he goes, "Well, normally on the back of these vouchers, we have some kind of a bank account that we deal with." And I'm going, "Well, okay. So if I've given you this bill of exchange, what is the issue?" He says, "Well, normally we see a bank number on there." So that's the first thing. If anybody knows what I'm talking about or can elaborate, let's do that in a minute.
CAF, that's your CAF number. That's your access to your estate. Yep. To your Mort Main account. Yep. CAF number would be good. That's your banker's acceptance, you could say. But go ahead.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I wasn't up as I should have been on it to help explain that, this is what we're all going through, right? We're meeting them where we can. The second thing is, I think, Kim Marie, I was on your live back last, I believe, was Wednesday. Anyway, and I mentioned that I put in a Tilla report on a mortgage and found 12. I just stopped at 12 issues, that were on it. So I was waiting, and I got an email from the Federal Reserve, and they told me, listen to this now, you're going to have to go to the CFPB and discuss that with them. And I was thinking to myself when I read it, well, they're not here anymore, are they? So that's the
Good point.
Yeah,
I just felt
that's
like
where that's where the bees come in, Ronald. Okay,
Yep.
because a lot of these offices are vacant, and as long as we flip that little, listen, someone just said on the call today that 1099 is called and considered a return filed. Think of it like return service requested.
Yes.
So yeah, get into the bees. You got it rock solid. You've created a basis for a claim by just doing the Tilla. Good for you, Ronald.
And so that's the first thing that came to my mind on that, is to go to those. So that's where I'm at right now. But let me ask you a question. Let me put it out there. A Tilla report is basically a criminal action you're asking them to look into.
Well, no, let's put it in. Let's put it in private banker, bankruptcy banker, salvage lawmaker, receipt bookkeeper, CPA, private central bank of issue language. Okay, let's put it in the language that gives us a basis for any administrative action we choose to take. Okay.
Very good. Very good. I agree with that.
What everybody did by putting the work in on the Tilla was you just found what's called a accounting error, and that is a technical term, you guys. An accounting error creates a basis for why we may choose to file, let's say, suspicious activity report, why we might choose to escalate the foreclosure of a maybe fraudulent, maybe I'm invested in the offshoring of taxpayers' funds being laundered through an escrow company that's servicing my contract.
Right.
I don't want to be involved in any kind of racketeering now, do I?
Right.
See
well,
what
here's
I mean?
what I said to him. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what I wrote on the description when I sent the Tilla in. I said, as you know, as soon as you get back to me, I will be able to go in and correct my 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 tax returns and my ledgers.
Yes.
And
Hell yeah.
You're the Adjustment Bureau. Yes.
yeah, and I just let them know that I wasn't just going after these mistakes. They had to get it to me because I have to correct those mistakes.
That's a good idea.
100%.
That's a good idea for the
Reporting
Tillas.
agency, in fact, adjustment reporting agency, in fact, I'm going to call it here in the comments. You are trust. Okay, listen, trust or absolute means this, okay? The one who has, just like what you just told them, so perfect. You have the records in front of you. You've investigated like an auditor and you've found some accounting errors.
Yeah.
Huh. I can't do my job, even though I'm 300 an hour. It's fine. Your clock can still be ticking, Ronald. Okay. You're
Okay.
getting paid for however long it takes them to get back to you, right? With the corrected record. You gave them an opportunity to do the right thing, or for the agency that you turned in your quote unquote accounting error to, if they go silent for all of you guys that haven't received any responses, that's acquiescence. They've accepted. Possibly that servicer has already been audited and it's already the office is already vacant. Essentially, it means that you've already perfected a default judgment. Now you can go in your back office and collect. Okay.
Right. And that's a 1099-A.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You get to now flip the tables on the money changers, and you get to escalate.
Correct.
A force majeure. And you get to say, listen, I don't want to be caught colluding with the enemy. And what if my mortgage is one of those mortgages that's on the terrorist watch list? Because it's been found wanting and it's been found stealing from the public at large.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, we have every right, title, and claim to divest ourselves from an activity that might actually not be in our favor to be a party to, right?
Right. There you go.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And what's interesting about this, guys, is when I put that comment in, I read it. I read what I wrote first, and then I added that comment in because something told me, and I believe it was the Lord, told me, why are you sending this? This doesn't give them any reason to really get back to you unless you have a good reason to go somewhere else.
Yeah, like an incentive.
An incentive. And I'm like, I'm going to put that in there. So that's what I did. And I feel like it's a motivator.
Well, and it's also, Ronald, it's also a record of an effect of what you're attempting to do, which is exhaust your administrative remedy and stay in honor. A gentleman or gentlewoman gives notice. We're learning how to go about our affairs without suing our brother or suing another. Okay.
Right.
Because all right, title, and interest, those with the gold pay the debts. That's a maximum law. Those with the gold pay the debts, and we make our blue card person whole. Because guess what? Who has our blue card person's back more than we do? Nobody.
Right. Right.
But God, but of course, God, right? But of
Right.
course, he's using us to actually turn the tables over on these money changers, policy enforcers, agencies that are rogue. They're rogue, you guys. They've all been paid under the table. They're all prostitutes in Babylon, okay?
Right.
So if we want to keep our hands clean, listen, it says in there, disregard the wicked. When we forgive our trespassers, it doesn't say we don't forgive them and then come on the backside and we get paid times 10. We get to now collect. See?
Right.
Regardless of what they do, because you were a good steward of your records. You're just making a record, you guys. I always think about my intended outcome a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And I always do my records like Ronald just shared with everybody that he did. I do everything with the intent that God is watching. I've done everything I know to do with the knowledge I have at this current time. I've let God guide me and direct me. My hands are clean. I'm bona fide. I am in integrity with trying to make my blue card person whole because it can't speak for itself. It can't, think about it like the license plate on your vehicle. The vehicle is Ronald's sitting in the seat and he's operating the vehicle, right? The license plate is the social security card person. Can that vehicle go and register itself with the Department of Motor Vehicles and say,
Nope.
I'm a private vessel. I'm traveling around with I'm taking my grandchildren and my wife privately from one state to another because their grandma lives in another state, let's say. I'm using this car for personal purposes. You feel me?
Yep.
So the social security card is just your license plate. I'm a stranger in a strange land. I come in good faith. I intend to harm no one or no thing. And I'm just traveling, minding my own business. I'm not in commerce and I'm not for hire, right? I'm a private person. So
Right.
whether you're in Texas where we don't have to register our private vehicles, but if you're ever going to use it, part-time even as a Lyft or an Uber driver, you're for hire. That vehicle must be registered in the state of Texas unless and only if it's a private vehicle, like a tractor is private. You use it on your property. That's it. So I think it's great that you brought that to the table. Thanks for that today, Ronald. It gives a lot of clarity for people. Appreciate you. It's always good to keep records and pretend like you've already won your intended outcome. And that's what will give the flavor and the spice to the kind of communications that he just said he did with that agency. If they go silent, guess what? Excuse me.
So
Remember, the first one that goes silent surrenders.
right.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go ahead and just add to the my administrative issue, and I'm going to contact the CFPB, and whatever comes of that, that's just
Yeah.
more fuel that I
Yeah.
have to say, what am I supposed to
Yeah.
do here, people?
Right. Now
I'm-
designate, okay, create a follow-up folder for your Tilla, okay?
right.
And print out the copy of the email. That's your record, right? But
Yes.
on the top of all of your pieces of paper that are connected to this particular follow-up folder called your Tilla, okay?
Uh-huh.
All the pages you've already printed out, make sure you designate one certified mail receipt number for the whole folder. That's
Okay.
like putting your it's like your affidavit of record, but you can handwrite it, you can make a copy of it and make sure it's on the top of all of your documents, but make sure all of those records are kept in the same follow-up folder with the same unique ID, which is your certified mail receipt number.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
Yeah,
All right,
good job. Awesome.
yeah.
I want you
So,
guys you can also use something called a barcode. You can go like a free barcode generator. I did that for my trust. On every document I send out, I have that barcode at the top and it says Heather Page McGinn, estate and trust
nice.
on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, good. What were you going to say, Ronald?
I was just going to say, I'm just going to jump back to two things on the CAF number we talked about on the ES form being a bank form. I've got to learn that aspect of the CAF.
Okay, but wait, but right now you were the one that signed on the mortgage, right? So we're still just dealing with the Social Security blue card person. Watch. The
Okay.
certified mail receipt number that I asked you to identify all those records with turns into your bank account number.
Okay.
It's your private schedule A. Think of it like property, right? And you're
Right.
putting your property identifying number. Think of it like a purchase order, an invoice number, just like Heather just said, her barcode, it becomes her property, in fact. So don't worry about the CAF at this moment. Just know that as long as you're keeping that certified mail receipt number, or it could be a reg number, you're the chooser of that definitive record of an event that has happened, and it's all of those pages in that follow-up folder belong to the same identifying number.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, thanks.
Also, if you're paying mortgage payments still related to the Tilla, your bank account that's actually making the payments for the mortgage, okay, you're being fleeced essentially.
Right.
That bank account becomes the priority principal interest holding account, showing you've got interest in all the proceeds that you've divvied out to pay the service contractor. They were all dry exchanges. You didn't benefit from one dime of liquidity from any of that, right? So you're due back all of that times 10. So when it comes time to fill out your Bs, you're going to have just a beautiful folder full of all the data you could possibly need to describe that particular financing agreement. Because remember, they give you a special little reserved account number that you're paying into the escrow account with, right? But your bank account is the hammer. It's bigger than a pen in this case. It's the hammer, because what are banks supposed to do? They're supposed to keep your records.
Yes.
And you get to go in the portal, you get to download all your records, at least just start with 2024, do a B for 2024 alone. And that's 10 times the amount of your financing payments, your mortgage payments times 12 in year 2024, right? Times 12. And then that number times 10 in the barter box. And we're off to the races. We are the tort claims office, and we have a duty to make sure a blue card person is made whole when it's been trespassed, charged, taxed without representation, because we're the ones representing it. They're not supposed to tax us. We tax them, if anything. And now it's, anyway, it's getting really exciting. It's getting really fun for everybody.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, hallelujah. I just thought those were two interesting little things that were going on. So I'm glad I could
here's what we
contribute a
call
little.
it now, Ronald. Here's what we call it. It's no longer full faith and credit, because we got no benefit from those dry exchanges, right? Those were all wagers in policy, racketeering. There's no statute of limitations on fraud. And so we're just going all the way back to the beginning, pre-corporation. And we say we walk with full faith and mana now.
Okay, excellent. Good report there, Ronald. I really like that. Okay, we're at the point now. We're about 2 hours in, right? We're going to start landing the plane. Now, here's what I think we should do. If there's somebody in the panel right now who has something super critical that, we need to make sure we squeeze in before we start wrapping up, maybe we'll take one more call. That's what I'm thinking here.
I don't have any final call outs.
Now, if not, I mean, that's a pretty good thing to close on as well. But why don't we just throw it to James real quick, and then we'll close things out, give Jeremy a chance for some final words, and yeah, because we're keeping these things about 2 hours, and we're kind of at that point. So, welcome, James. How are you, sir? Oh, we can't hear you, James. Madonna, I see you in there. Madonna, if you wouldn't mind doing our closing prayer, I'm hoping you'll be able to do that for us at the very end. James, we cannot hear you. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure why. Okay. Well, Jeremy, did you want to say a few words? Good question today, guys. Really enjoyed it. A lot of useful little tips and insights. So if you wanted to, now's the time. Jeremy, if you are talking, we can't hear you. I see you unmuted, but
Yeah, I mean, no, just
yeah, did you
good
want
luck recouping.
to go for it?
Good luck recouping. I mean, a lot of us we've been doing this for a little over a year now, so we're getting ready to reap our benefits of the work we've put in. So definitely takes your effort and your energy, and that's what this whole call was about today, pretty much. So thank y'all for being here. Your presence is what matters the most. Uh, we plant the seeds, y'all plant the seeds, and we go out and plant forests, and that's what we've got going on right now. So it's a growing movement. Ain't nothing gonna slow it down, especially when we start reaping these benefits of all the hard work we've put in over the year, learning and empowering other people, and bringing the community together as a collective to solve these complex financial issues that we've come across, and finding that a lot of it's a lot easier than we could have possibly imagined. But thank y'all for being here. Love y'all. And that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Okay, James. Did you have something for us, James? Okay, we can hear you now. All right, but we are wrapping up.
A phone call just came in right when I started speaking, and I just cut everything off. I just wanted to slip my grateful sauce in here and just say I'm grateful for everybody here and this journey that we're on together, all learning. And I just keep hammering my A's and my B's, and I'm looking forward to being able to hammer some A's and B's on the big deposits that we get from the A's and B's that we get to do, because we get to 10 times those big deposits that are coming next time.
Okay, good stuff. James, thank you so much. Dr. Heather, did you have any actual final words before we
Nope.
have Madonna give us the
I'm ready to hear
prayer
Madonna
at the
play
very end?
because her voice is
Yep.
anointed. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, that's basically the end of the session. Madonna, take it away. And then, we'll be back next week, guys, same time, Saturday, Recoupers. The replay will be up within, 4 hours from now, something like that. Share it around, spread it around, go nuts. Take it away, Madonna.
Your days, Dr. Heather, you're going to make me cry. So sweet. So let us all be reverent and give him our attention. Dear Father God, as we close this fellowship, we lift our hearts in gratitude. Thank you for the laughter, the wisdom shared, and the bonds that are forever formed. I thank you, Lord, for the dedication, everybody coming to the call, the discipline, and the focus. So grateful that we can come together collectively and praise and glorify your mighty name, Yeshua. We thank you for the provisions, for this movement, for this journey that you are taking us on, because you are the great orchestra conductor. I praise your gracious and beautiful name for all the blessings you've given me and my brothers and sisters. I thank you for all of our loved ones, for life, happiness, success, and so much more to come. The greatest gift of all is eternal life through Yeshua, a gift that we honor with unquestioned faith in him as our Savior. Please continue to protect and to provide all of our needs each day. We remain forever faithful. And today was a perfect day to be grateful. We thank you for the love that sustains us all. Keep the spirit of gratitude alive in us all. and help us to hold on to the values that we all treasure, strengthen character, generosity, kindness, and joy. I love you all and so grateful and honored and privileged to be part of this amazing group. I love you guys. Amen.
Amen. Have a good one, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Amen.
So
Thanks,
it is,
guys.
everyone. Godspeed.
Have a great week. See you next time.
Take care.
Peace.